You are listening to episode 1 of Two Trade School Trads, a production of KSCS Radio. And this is a very honest and real history podcast from two laymen, both in college. I'm Alan.
And I'm Jack.
And we are here as your two trade school trads to unpack everything you need to know, whether you know anything about history or not. Let's start with a couple of introductions here. Jack, you go first.
Yeah, so I am a Catholic convert. I converted back in 2024. I'm currently going to school in North Dakota for the precision machining degree. I plan to graduate here in the spring as I am in my second year of college here. And Alan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a proud North Dakota native and coming to school here for the electrical technology program so that I can be a successful electrician after college, and it counts as hours towards my apprenticeship, which is a added plus of being here. I'm a proud cradle Catholic, and I just have a strong interest in history shared by my good friend Jack here, which is why we decided to launch this podcast.
Yeah, let's briefly talk about the difference between four-year colleges and two-year trade school. Right away, I had a little bit of experience here at a four-year college. I went for mechanical engineering for 2 years and didn't really like it. A lot of late nights studying. Really, it kind of clicked with me that my life and my quality of living really is not greater than it was coming out of high school. And I made the tough decision to transition to a trade school. And ever since, I've seen a great tonal shift between the traditional four-year college and the two-year trade school. I noticed it's no longer a really battle to gain your worth. At a trade school, you do have worth, and they want to impose more of that onto you, whereas a traditional four-year school, I see more as you have to prove your worth. Alan, what have you seen in your years here?
I think there's a great dignity here in just the overall confidence of just working with your hands, being a tradesman here at this tech school, and the great importance that you have of being down to earth, working with actual things, working with your hands and applying real math with your mind. And overall, I was impressed too. The instructors are good. They've all worked in the field, and the difference too, besides obviously 4 years and versus 2 years, and even the cost differences between the different universities. One of the big things is you're prepared for a successful career right off the bat. You're not just given a degree that kind of doesn't really mean much, and most people don't end up using in any way, shape, or form. And with the trade school, you have instructors who have decades of experience in the trade, and they're ready to help you learn, and you get to do it hands-on, and it's very fulfilling, very masculine. You can become self-sufficient. You're taught to troubleshoot and work with your hands and fix things and build things, and it's overall a very satisfying lifestyle that both of us wish to pursue.
Right. One of the greatest adages I heard about the difference is during the apocalypse, I mean, who would you want to be in your camp? Would you rather have the politician, the artist, or do you want to have somebody that knows how to fix a generator? I think truly that kind of shows you the value that you are getting taking this route.
Yeah, it's and plus we always need more. There's a high demand for tradesmen right now, and it can be a very monetarily successful career, among other things, which is part of what drives us here. And the world needs lots of tradesmen, and among other things, it's a good avenue for grace. I mean, the Holy Family showed us very, very clearly through Jesus and Joseph's example that you can be the work of trades with your hands can be very sanctifying and a means of grace and very fulfilling. Their carpentry trade taught them several virtues can be displayed besides just honesty and dedication, even some humility.
Right. I think our Lord really gave us a great example with his life. Well, obviously, it's the example that we have to follow, and seeing that trade kind of brought into it, it shows you that you have a level of humility, that you're willing to put yourself below others. You don't have a great deal of prestige. You're not a doctor in so and so. You're you're not above others. You're kind of with everybody else. You're within the lower class of life, but not really. You're not willing to put yourself above others.
Yeah, let's dwell on that for a minute. Just like the humility that comes with trades. Like I can think of personally being in the electrical trade. Like everyone starts at the apprentice level, which basically you know nothing. You're kind of treated as such in a way. You're not trusted with anything. You have to be supervised. You're not paid a ton, and you kind of end up doing a lot of like the grunt work, the basic work. Running a shovel and fetching things off the truck. I mean, it's a really great avenue towards developing humility that we all must take, and both of us more so, obviously. And it's such an important humility. The virtue can't be stressed enough, and the trades are a great avenue for it because you go to 2 years of school here, or in many cases you don't go to school at all, and then you have to work your way up, and it takes decades to get to the point of full mastery of your trade. Although you can be, at least in the electrical trade, you can be a licensed journeyman or master's after just 5 years or so out in the field. And overall, the hard work you have to put in and the humility that you're taught, it's a great payoff.
What we hope to delve into is really greater Catholicism and how it has such historical depth and kind of the great engagement within that history. Even today, we look to the past, and when we put a date to things, we use our Gregorian calendar. And of course, that was the product of Jesuit priests, and they solved a huge problem. And at the end of it, they based it honoring our Lord, putting year one, which is really the greatest historical event ever.
Yeah, our Christocentric calendar is based off the year that our incarnate Lord became incarnate, and that's the beauty of it. Is history is so, especially in the West here, is just so full and so ripe of Catholicism, and it's just overflowing. We can't talk about history without talking about Catholicism, so that's going to be a very pivotal pillar as well. And kind of just a general sketch of our upcoming plans with this podcast. We're going to examine some historical eras, some very important key events and episodes in history that really changed the course of history. And the great men, the great saints of the past, especially, we're going to be focusing on medieval Christendom and late medieval Christendom, and basically the full effect that the church had on shaping history and building every aspect of our civilization that is positive. It came from the church and its unique adaptations of ancient Roman law, Greek philosophy, and of course, true theology. And it kind of all tied them together, and that's what we'll be examining in this podcast.
Right, and we hope, too, that we can get some interesting interviews on here so we can get a better perspective.
We can look into the relevant cultural topics as well in history through the lens of history, and that's the great beauty of history, is that it can be like the greatest teacher probably after the church, is just learning from other men and human nature.
Right. And really, history, one adage that is pretty good about it is, if you're taking a test and you have the guy that written the test, who studied for this test and has really put his life behind it, giving you answers, I mean, that's what history is. It's really a cheat book.
You get to learn from all the past triumphs and mistakes of the great men of all ages. And there are some great men and great decisions that were made out there, for good and for bad, that changed the course of history. And we'll be especially examining a few of those, as many as we can get to in our podcast. And they can really shine through into the current crossroads that we are in, although we won't be examining a lot of current topics as a whole.
Yeah, I like how you said, it's really, we get to reap the benefits of the life works of like scholars, philosophers, and even historians themselves. Really, we get to see the culmination of everything that these people have worked towards, and we don't even need to put the work in. We just need to look for it. And once we find it, we get to gain that experience and knowledge, and really it helps us in every aspect of our life.
Yeah, well said. That's So that's kind of the goal of what we're going through. We're going to examine basically the history of the West in non-chronological order. So kind of as we see fit, interviews here, interviews there, commentaries here, commentaries there. We're going to hopefully start way back even into the Dark Ages, talk about those supposedly dark times, and we'll probably show you the real history and how it wasn't that dark actually, and work our way through the glory of medieval Christendom that is so sadly underemphasized nowadays, and work our way through as the West matures and into the more decaying phase a little bit now, and try to just really highlight the important parts of our civilization's past.
Right, and I hope too that we can learn the lessons that come from the great mistakes of history. We get to see what truly happens when you come to fail in certain aspects. So I hope too we get to talk about certain topics like the French Revolution, Vatican II, and others like that.
Oh, the Reformation, the Mass of the Ages. We've got so many topics lined up, but right now we can't cover them all. This is just our introductory episode. That's going to wrap it up for today. We will meet with you again, and don't miss our next upcoming episodes.
2 trade school trads.
Just honest layman.
Yeah. Ave, ave.
Christus Rex.